It's going to be a good one today, as always. I'm looking forward to it. We're just going to get set up on all the different platforms. So, oh, quicker than normal today. Fantastic. So, we're going to go live on Facebook. That's all good to go. We'll set TikTok and then Instagram. Just press it. Oops. Okay, so 1 second, guys. Okay. All right. Cool. We're live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube, I believe. We're live on Facebook, and we are live on Instagram. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. It's going to be a good session today, as always. Just as everyone's climbing in. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Hope everyone's ready for the week ahead. Today is going to be a deep dive set. Sorry? Sorry for what?
You're late. Twice.
Oh, I'm 10 minutes late. Oh, right, from 1 o'clock.
It's
Um,
10:30. It's
yeah.
10:50.
So, sorry, it's been a crazy busy day today. Literally back to back to back. So we had to move the live session from earlier. But good to see everyone here now. So yeah, we'll get into it. So we've got Jade here today, as always.
Hi everyone.
She will
Jade,
be
I'm really sorry.
she will be yeah, just talking next time it's easier. Just it's Magic Tree. She's Magic Tree Superfoods on Instagram. She will be
Nope.
she's she not. She's Magic Tree Superfoods on TikTok. She's Josiah underscore Matty on Instagram, and then
Okay.
she'll be patrolling Facebook and YouTube channels as well. We're going to be doing a long overdue session today. Actually, Robert, that's a very, very timely question because that is exactly what we are going to be covering today. People have been asking about kidney health and kidney cleansing and kidney disease for the last probably every day for the last 6 months, and we wanted to
I was going to say 4 years.
oh, so we wanted to create something that can really help, create a solution that can really help, not just a few herbs that have some tenuous links to being able to help. So we put the kidney cleanse kit together. We split it out for the different kidney levels, different levels and stages of kidney disease, and also kidney stones as well. So yeah, today we're going to be doing a longer live session, and if there's any organ that needs a longer session to fully understand how it works, it is most definitely the kidneys. I'm sure all of us know someone who is dealing with a kidney issue, whether that is kidney stones, whether that's kidney disease, kidney cysts. Um, so there's definitely something that you'll be able to learn today and take away, even if it is just prevention of developing your own kidney disease. So we're going to be breaking down, what are the kidneys actually, first and foremost, what are the kidneys? How do the kidneys work? What is uh, all right. So yeah, some more people just asking about kidney disease. So yeah, what are the kidneys? How do they work? What is chronic kidney disease? What should you be doing if you get diagnosed with chronic kidney disease? How do you get diagnosed with kidney disease? How do kidney stones play in? What's the mineral myth? What calcium, sodium, phosphate, potassium? How are we supposed to manage all these things? And what foods are we supposed to eat? Honestly, there's so much to go into. We're probably going to have to split this one into two parts just because there's so much to go into. So maybe I'll try and do just some of the content today, and then in the next session I'll finish off the content and then try and open it up for more of a Q&A so you can get some specific questions answered.
Yeah,
Um,
it looks like you might need 2 parts, I think, to this. Lots of
Lots of
questions.
questions already.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'll go through, and then if there's more questions after that, then yeah, please do ask them. Because the thing with the kidneys, you can get so specific, and you might have a question about creatinine, you might have a question about protein, fat, sugar, so many different things, and it kind of is to an extent dependent on you. So I'll explain kind of the full backstory of how it develops, what are the kidneys, and then we can go in and answer some more specific questions if we've got time. Um, do we have any housekeeping points before we get into today's session? I don't think so, actually. I think We've updated, well, a few updates just on the website. We've updated our subscriptions program. So now we're going to be giving you guys 30% off when you subscribe. So big savings coming. We are kind of in the midst of tweaking all the website kind of offers and pricing and stuff. So that will change. So be ready for that. And then we also have the consultations that have changed now. So now we will be, programming those or setting those up in more structured programs rather than just one-off sessions or here's a one-off session and you can get a 3-month supply of herbs. Now it's going to be a month-on-month support. So 3 monthly sessions with 3 new herbs that get sent out each month depending on what your condition is. So that will be the main consultation offer now. So that's on the website and that's more structured for you to really get that handheld support over 3 months. And then we do also have the one-off sessions as well, which is still available that you can book. And then move to 45 minutes now because 30 minutes was never long enough for anyone and we always ended up going over. So hopefully that clarifies things and makes it a bit simpler now as well. So, right. And then just finally as well, in terms of we've got the International Women's Month discount still on the website. So that is offering 30% off on the fibroids kit and the menopause kit. So you can get take advantage of that with IWD 26.
Yeah.
Yeah, is the code to use that. We will be trying to do some giveaways today as well. So I know there's we've had quite a few winners. So we'll be trying to do some giveaways, especially for some of our new herbs. We did launch some new herbs for the kidney cleanse kit as well, which I'll try and get into. So yeah, all right, let's get into it. What are you doing? Oh, okay. All right, let's get into it. So, kidneys. What are the kidneys? That's probably the first place to start. What do the kidneys do? Oh, Chaz, the website is Magic Tree Superfood. So for everyone on the different channels, the website is in the link in the bio. So what are the kidneys? What do they do? So essentially, the kidneys are your containment tanks. A lot of people think the kidneys do the filtering. A lot of people think the kidneys are your filters. Yes, there are filters in the kidneys, but the kidneys aren't your main filters. That's your liver's job. Your liver is actually the filter. Your kidneys, yeah, Chaz, the bundle is there, but yeah, okay. So the kidneys aren't your primary filter. The liver is your primary filter, and then the liver sends those toxins to the kidneys to be processed. So it's more like a containment processing facility than it is, the one that is necessarily processing the toxins out of the blood. It does have other functions as well. The kidneys, they do they do filter excess minerals out of the blood, but they don't filter the nutrients. They don't filter everything from the blood, if that makes sense. They do also, I mean, more important, and the reason why kidney disease is such a massive issue for people, and the reason why, you know, it can be fatal is because of its role in regulating minerals. So I'm going to go through the most important minerals as it pertains to kidney disease, but really, it's the minerals that cause the risk. Because when you have mineral irregularities, that's when your heartbeat can become irregular. That's where you get, atherosclerosis. That's where you can get, fatal side effects from the kidney disease. So the minerals is what you need to be worrying about, and that is why so many foods have to become restrictive when it comes to later stage kidney disease, and they are healthy early stage but dangerous later stage because it's those minerals that can become toxic at the later stage. They are also important for buffering, the pH balance inside your body, so it decides what minerals need to leave, what minerals can stay, and that will dictate what the pH balance of your system is more generally. And then it also contains or processes EPO. So essentially, it's the oxygen that goes inside your red blood cells. So you need you need your kidneys functioning to be able to produce red blood cells, which is why a lot of people will have anemia from their chronic kidney disease as well. It's not because you're not able to process iron, it's because your kidneys are not able to produce the EPO that you need to actually get blood around your body, or get oxygen around your body, I should say. So, and I'll just caveat and say this as well. Like I'm not a kidney expert, because there is so much to understand about the kidneys, and there is so much nuance when it comes to the kidneys. So I'll caveat everything I say by saying, just because I'm saying something in this video, of course listen to it, of course take it on board, but don't think it necessarily guaranteed to apply to you, because your situation within the kidney disease might be slightly different. So, even with the herbs as well, we do always recommend consulting your doctor. I do just want to say that because, typically, I would say, you know, um, organs are pretty simple. You cut out the troublemakers, you eat the healthy foods, and you're going to be fine for the most part. We can simplify it down to that. With the kidneys, it's a lot more complex because it depends what minerals your kidneys can't process properly. It depends what has caused the damage to your kidneys, which we're going to go on to now. It depends what the side effects of your damaged kidneys are. And all of these things dictate how you should be moving forward. So there's no strict rules of thumb when it comes to kidney disease because it depends how you are impacted. So yeah, I think it's important to caveat that and just say, in this case, I wouldn't just say ignore the experts and do what you're doing and do it yourself, because you could be causing yourself more harm than good by just eating a healthy food that could send you into calcium overload. So what causes kidney disease? What causes kidney disease? So the thing about kidney disease is we have this idea that if someone develops kidney disease, it's because they've been drinking loads of alcohol, or they've been, using drugs or something, or they've been eating a horrible diet, or just generally abusing their body in some kind of way. That's the general consensus if someone says, I have kidney disease. You tend to not treat it the same way as well. If someone says I've got hepatitis, let's say, you wouldn't think, oh, that person must have lived a horrible lifestyle. You just say, well, they caught a virus. That's unfortunate. And to be honest, it can be very similar with the kidneys. Just because you've got chronic kidney disease is an umbrella term because, with the liver, we have fatty liver, we have hepatitis, we have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, we have alcoholic fatty liver disease, we have cirrhosis, we have all of these different conditions to describe a damaged liver. When it comes to the kidneys, you have chronic kidney disease. Any breakdown, any damage that happens to your kidney filters, your vessels, it's just called chronic kidney disease. And that's where that misunderstanding comes from in terms of the assumption that, well, you must have done something to damage your kidneys. And that's not always the case. You can get kidney disease from being punched in the kidney, being kicked in the kidney, being in a car accident and your kidney's been physically injured. That could scar and damage your kidney filters to the point you develop chronic kidney disease. You can have, this is one of the, actually, we'll leave that one last. There's other things like high blood pressure can stimulate kidney disease as well. Diabetes can stimulate chronic kidney disease. Anything that can, accentuate that rusting process of your too much sugar, for example, but again, that would be kind of a dietary factor. But anything that can stimulate the rusting of your kidney filters can cause chronic kidney disease. That could be scarring, that could be mineral imbalance, that could be oxalates wreaking havoc, and we'll go into that a little bit as well. But there are so many things that you need to be aware of in terms of it may not be a person's fault. The biggest reason for unexplainable, let's say, kidney disease, you find one day, the next day you've been told you've got chronic kidney disease, you've never drunk a day in your life, and you're thinking, what's going on? That could be pardon me, a hepatic virus called HHV6. Now, we've all heard of EBV, we've all heard of HSV. Some of us might have heard of cytomegalovirus. We've all heard of shingles. We've all heard of chickenpox. Now, number 6 on that viral list is HHV6. Now, HHV6 is perhaps the scariest herpetic virus because it literally encodes itself into your DNA, which means it makes it super hard to get rid of. Now, HHV6 has a particular liking for the kidneys. So HHV6 can cause chronic kidney disease when you really have, you know, no lifestyle reasons for developing chronic kidney disease. The HHV6 can do it in itself. Now, thankfully, there are things we can do to combat that HHV6 virus, that HHV7 as well. There are things we can do, so it doesn't mean you're, doomed to your fate. But it is important to understand that as a cause, not just a trigger, because with understanding that, it helps to break down what the best next steps are. So, all right, that's explaining that's explaining what the kidneys are. It's explaining kidney disease, how kidney disease happens. What about kidney stones? Because we hear a lot about kidney stones, we hear a lot about gallstones. They are different and they do have different causes. You could argue fundamentally they're the same core issue in terms of how they develop, but they are different. So when it comes to kidney stones, people again just call it kidney stones. There are actually four different types of kidney stones. Four different types. Now, the most common type of kidney stone is what 80% of people have. They would be calcium oxalate stones. So, calcium oxalate stones are not from eating too much calcium, which is what you might think. You might think, well, you drink too much milk, you get calcium oxalate stones. It's not as straightforward as that. The calcium oxalate stones are actually formed from oxalates running wild. Now, oxalates are what they call an anti-nutrient. You find them in beetroot, you find them in healthy foods like Brussels sprouts, spinach, kale. So there's nothing wrong with oxalates in themselves, and it's not that you should avoid dietary oxalates unless you've got chronic kidney disease. But the thing about oxalates is that they are anti-nutrients, as I said. So they will that what's really important about them is nullifying them early. If you let them wreak havoc, they will wreak havoc. So oxalates are supposed to be bound to in the gut by either calcium or a specific bacteria which can be lacking in a gut microbiome. Now, when the oxalates aren't bound to in the gut, they end up roaming wild and then they can go to your kidneys, they can bind to calcium in your kidneys, and then you can develop calcium oxalate stones. So that's the most common way someone will develop stones. You've also got calcium phosphate. Sorry, yes, just got talking to calcium oxalate stones. So actually, eating more dietary calcium helps reduce your risk of calcium oxalate stones because it means there's more dietary calcium to be able to bind to the oxalates in the gut. So it sounds counterintuitive, but to defend yourself from calcium oxalate stones, you actually want plant-based calcium, ironically. Now, calcium phosphate stones, they're probably the second most common stones, particularly if you already have chronic kidney disease. But how that forms is that if you have chronic kidney disease, your phosphorus levels or your phosphate levels will fluctuate more wildly. And then when that binds to calcium again in the kidneys, it can develop stones. Now, the third type of stone, uric acid stones, clues in the name, uric acid. It's formed when your kidneys are too acidic. So when they're too acidic, the urea doesn't dissolve how it's supposed to. It binds together, and then you get uric acid stones. So the best thing to do for those would be to add some more alkalinity into your diet. Now, there is a herb you can use. It's actually called stonebreaker or chanca in Central America, where it's kind of native to, as well as India as well, where it's called Bumi Amla. So it's very much an ancient herb with a rich history and lots of different names. But that would be the primary option to try and dissolve calcium oxalate stones, mainly calcium oxalate stones. And we can talk about that when we're talking about the herbs a bit more. So struvite stones would be the fourth most common type of stones, but only 1% of people really have those. So there's not much value in going into that now. But they're usually caused by bacteria from UTIs. So slightly separate. Maybe we'll touch on UTIs in the next session as well. Okay, so we've spoken about oxalates, we've spoken about kidney disease. Let's touch on the electrolytes. Now, this is probably the most confusing part of kidney disease because electrolytes play dual roles. Um, Electrolytes in the system are generally good. We need electrolytes, and we need them for cellular function, we need them for nerve function, we need them to protect our cells, we need them to reverse oxidative stress, we need them to buffer out the acids that are in our system. So minerals are very, very, very important. However, when you have chronic kidney disease, your kidneys can't flush excess minerals, and then you get mineral buildup. And mineral buildup can be very, very dangerous. It can cause, fatigue. It can cause high blood pressure. It can cause fatalities at the ends, at the extreme. It can cause atherosclerosis. It can cause heart palpitations. It can cause so many different things. So breaking that down. Now, there's certain minerals that you are fine to eat. Early stage kidney disease, there's certain minerals that help reduce your risk as well. And then there's certain minerals you should probably just avoid. So let's work through them. Sodium. Now, we all know, don't eat too much sodium. This is probably the most popular one. Don't eat too much sodium. It's bad for your kidneys. Don't eat too much sodium. It's bad for your kidneys. We know that. So sodium generally is, or salt to make it, specific, sodium chloride. So sodium is unhelpful at any stage of chronic kidney disease. We do need sodium. Sodium is a useful mineral in your body, but when you eat excess sodium, so added salt, when you're sprinkling salt on everything, if you're using table salt, which isn't as, minerally complete as say Himalayan salt or Celtic sea salt. So when you're doing that, then it's not helpful at any stage really. It increases the risk of kidney stones. It lowers calcium levels inside your body. It puts more blood. It puts more pressure on your blood vessels, and it also damages your kidney filters. So at no stage, whether you're preventing or late stage kidney disease, it's not really something that adding salt to your meal is never really going to be that beneficial. Now, if you're doing Celtic salt with some lemon water in the morning, that's fine. That's minerally rich and diverse. It's not the same as just table salt. Even if you're doing Himalayan salt, that's fine. It's not the same thing. Now, if you have chronic kidney disease, probably don't add the salt to that lemon water. I mean, don't even drink the lemon water. But we'll get into that in terms of what you should be eating. Um, so yeah, it's just understanding where the mineral risks are really. So potassium. Again, potassium is a super important. Yeah. So yeah, what sea salt was the question? Yeah, sea salt. If you haven't got chronic kidney disease, is fine. If you do, stay away from it. Obviously, you can't avoid all salt in all foods, but you don't want to be adding sea salt to food. You don't want to be adding it to water or doing anything like that. So yeah, potassium. Potassium is a super important mineral. It has many, many, many different functions inside the body. Primarily, or its primary function would be to do with the heart and regulating your heartbeat and blood pressure. So, potassium when you are pre kidney disease, or if you're even stage one or two, isn't really the enemy. It can be beneficial, so you don't want to avoid all potassium foods. Um, so, a healthy kidney can flush out potassium fine. It's only when your kidneys start struggling to flush out that potassium does it get dangerous, and that's closer to stage three. So at stage one and two, it's kind of helpful to neutral, depending how much you're eating. Without any kidney disease, it's healthy. But as you get past stage three, you could be facing arrhythmia, fatigue, gut, heart issues, things like that. So that's why you would want to avoid. And then calcium. We've kind of touched on the calcium. We touched on dietary calcium being beneficial to prevent the buildup of stones. Um, you know, Calcium is, I would say, the victim of the victim of kidney disease as opposed to the perpetrator. We need dietary calcium and we need good sources of dietary calcium. So I'm not saying drink a whole load of milk. I'm more saying eat your seeds, eat your green vegetables, and that is how you're going to get good, healthy sources of calcium in that will help you in early stages of CKD. But the problem is, as your CKD progresses, your phosphorus, which we'll come on to, levels become dysregulated, and that can disrupt your parathyroid. And the main job of your parathyroid is to maintain calcium levels. So when your parathyroid gets disrupted, your calcium levels go haywire. You strip calcium out of your bones, you leach them out of your bones because your parathyroid is hypersensitive and it detects low blood calcium levels. So it says, okay, we need to empty the reserves. We need to take all the calcium out of your bones. We need to take all the calcium out of your teeth to get it into the blood. Then phosphorus binds to it some more. So then your thyroid says, oh, okay, well, it must be even lower than before. Then you end up stripping even more calcium out of your bones and teeth. And then that's how you get weak bones. That's how you end up with osteoporosis, brittle bones. And then if that calcium ends up going into your blood vessels, then you can even get atherosclerosis as well. So or artery plaque, the simple term, would is what can develop from that. So calcium, as I say, is very much the victim. It's not the one causing the issues, but once the phosphorus that tells that parathyroid to go haywire, the calcium just is on a string doing whatever the phosphorus wants it to really. It's not as coordinated as that, but essentially that's what's happening. And then phosphorus. So phosphorus is the last one. Phosphorus is the most dangerous. So again, phosphorus is a healthy mineral generally, but the problem with phosphorus is that we consume it in abundance so much, So phosphorus in its natural form, phosphorus in food and whole plant-based food is fine, but the problem is, yeah, the problem is if you are doing soda, you've got phosphorus. If you're doing fast food, you've got phosphorus. If you're doing fried foods, you've got phosphorus. If you're doing anything out of a packet, you've got phosphorus. If you're doing anything with preservatives, you've got phosphorus. Now, I don't know about you, but if I look at 90% of the population, at least that I know of, then 90% of their diet is going to have phosphorus in it. And that is why it's so dangerous because added phosphorus is abundant in processed foods. So as part of that processing of when they process foods, phosphorus is the first thing that gets added, and that phosphorus is so dangerous. One, because it's sneaky. You don't even know you're consuming it. So you look at the back of a packet, you might think it's fine. You really want to look out for anything that is phos on the back. So phosphate, phosphide, phosphorus, lots of different ones. I couldn't even pretend to know all of them, but you're looking out for that on the back of food. If it comes out of a packet, it's probably got phosphorus. If it's fizzy, it's got phosphorus. So that's the way to see it. And the key thing with the phosphorus is that once you get to a toxic buildup level, once it, as I said before, it can cause the stones, it can cause the bone weakening, it can cause heart disease, and eventually it can cause, fatal soft tissue calcification. Your heart literally calcifies, your liver literally calcifies. That's what can happen. So the phosphorus is actually the most dangerous mineral to be aware of when we're talking about chronic kidney disease. That's the mineral that actually causes the most fatalities from kidney disease. So really important to understand that. So I know I've been talking for a little while, and I'll get on to, well, it'll be a slightly different format today. So we probably won't do the three biggest. Well, I mean, we can. I'll take a break after this one, and we'll probably do a giveaway. And then I'll move on to the three biggest mistakes, and then we'll try and get on to some foods as well, ranking some foods. I've seen some questions coming in. They've been coming pretty fast. I haven't been able to digest them all. Some of them have been hyper specific. So
Yeah, do you want to go through any now or save for the
I'll finish this point first, and then we'll go for it after. So yeah. Um, So, what were we saying? We were talking about the different stages of kidney disease, the different stages. So, first off, the way kidney disease is measured is really important. So, a lot of people will say, "Oh, my creatinine is really high. I eat too much protein, or my protein is really high, or my urea is off the high." Is it off the high? Off the charts. The way kidney disease is measured and the way the different stages are measured is with a EGFR measure. So it's essentially measuring how efficiently are your kidneys filtering blood is what's happening there. Or how efficiently is the kidneys filtering blood. So at stage one, that generally means your score is below 90. So above 90, you haven't got any kidney disease. At stage one, you're going to probably be asymptomatic. You're not going to have any symptoms. It's reversible, and that would be below 90. But that's the first sign to say, okay, I need to start eating for my kidneys. That would be phase one. Then you've got stage two. So they typically band stage one and two together because at both stages, you're probably not going to feel any symptoms. If you found out you've got kidney disease at stage one or two, it's probably because you've been checking for something else or you've been complaining about something and it's come up as a secondary thing. But yeah, at stage two, that's when your EGFR would be between 60 and 89 officially. So at that stage, you may have some mineral imbalances. You may start to see some symptoms. You probably will have some system-wide inflammation, that sort of thing. But you're not kind of struggling to get out of bed or anything like that. Everyone's different, but yeah, and it depends what the source of that injury is. If it's an acute thing, then obviously it's happening faster, so you might feel those symptoms more. And then stage three. So they split stage three into two stages, so 3A and 3B. You know, functionally, it just depends what your number is. So if you're 45 to 59, then you will be stage 3A. If you're 30 to 44, then you'll be 3B. Not sure why they don't just call it stage four, but they split it into two. So at that point, this is where you really need to start micromanaging your minerals. This is where you can't just eat whatever you want. This is where it's probably your last chance to somewhat even safely go about reversing your condition. Um, Yourself. I would add. So you may start to see some acidosis. You may start to see some acid burden. You may start to struggle to get rid of the protein. So you're probably going to want to lower your protein intake. You definitely want to manage your phosphorus intake. You obviously want to lower your sodium intake. So that's where you really start to have to start acting differently. Of course, better to do it before. So that's why I use the word have to start acting differently. Now, stage four, this is where it would start to become kidney failure. And this is when your EGFR drops below 30. And at this stage, it becomes it becomes risky to continue to try and just try things. I'll try this herb because I read it online. Oh, I'll just drink this juice because someone told me it was good. Because if you're eating the wrong things at stage four, you can start to send yourself into shock. You can start to send yourself into mineral shock, and you may not get another chance. So you really don't want to mess around when you get to stage four. You probably do want to start exploring. You want to make sure you're ready if dialysis is needed, because if you go into a shock, a mineral shock, you may need emergency dialysis. So you don't really want that situation to catch you by surprise. You want to, not to say you need to do it, at the point you get that consultation, but you want to understand what your options are, because it could happen at any point. You could do the same thing every day for 3 months, and then that, first day of the fourth month, it sends you into shock because your kidneys just can't handle the mineral load that it could do before. So, you know, someone asked in the message, what do I do at stage four? Um, at stage four, you definitely want to heavily restrict your eating. You don't want to be just it's beyond healthy eating. That's not the priority at that point. It's about protecting your kidneys and maybe intermittently using some herbs to try and bring some function back, checking your results in between, being very hands-on with the process, because the risk can sometimes outweigh the benefit, if that makes sense. You do want to sign up for a kidney transplant list. I know we actually get messages and a lot of people say, I don't want to get that kidney transplant. And there's nothing glamorous about fighting, kidney disease. I wouldn't even call it the natural way, because in this natural health space, we like to push the narrative that doctors don't do us anything, and myself included to an extent, but we like to say doctors don't do anything, and they don't care about us and they don't care about your symptoms, and to an extent that is true. There's definitely doctors that fall into that bucket, but There's also lots of life-saving medications, and organ transplants fall into that bucket. There's no pride, you don't get a special award for saying, well, I fought I rejected the kidney transplant, and now I've got no kidney function, and now I'm on dialysis 4 hours a day, every day. Now I'm on, I have to hook myself up to a machine every evening. That's not necessarily, there's no bravery award that comes with that. Now, obviously, if you find yourself in that position, then that's a different situation. But yes, kidney transplants, of course, have their risk. Of course, it's a major surgery. The kidney that you are getting may not be accepted. It may have its own levels, own various diseases and things like that. But you've got to look at the alternative, a failed kidney. So um, when it gets to stage 4 and stage 5, you know, with my expertise, I would say I don't feel safe giving you herbs, or I don't feel safe giving you even real, strong dietary advice at that point, because your kidneys could react to anything at that point. So the best advice I would give you is start the dialysis consultation process, make sure it's not catching you by surprise, and sign up for a kidney transplant waiting list, sign up on the kidney transplant waiting list. Now, that is not to say there is no one out there that knows how to reverse stage 4 and 5 kidney disease. I'm not telling you to give up hope. I'm not telling you to just abandon yourself. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I don't have the requisite experience, skills, or expertise to be advising you if you are in stage 4 or 5 kidney disease. Now, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, we can definitely help. The herbs can definitely help. There's things we can do to help. But it's important to understand, you know, where we need to not just rely on, well, it's natural, so it can't do us any harm. That's not true, and it can. So we do need to be disciplined. We do need to be real with ourselves. We do need to be, honest with ourselves, and actually do what's best for ourselves. Ultimately, do what's best for our families, and not let the isms, not let the war against big pharma, not let I don't trust doctors override in that situation, because there are, most surgeons are saving lives. Most surgeons aren't, they're separate. Surgeons aren't the same ones as the GP who doesn't care about you. They're not listening to your symptoms. They're not the same thing. Okay. Let's do a giveaway. Let's do a giveaway, Jade. There's been lots of questions, and I know I haven't answered all of them. I tried to touch on some as I've gone through. Sugar asked about what do I think about Celtic salt or sea salt, and I did answer that before, but I'll touch on it again. When it comes to the sea salt, it is rich in minerals, and it is rich in the minerals that will also cause kidney damage. So sorry, tissue salt. I'm not sure what you mean by tissue salt. Um, yeah, not sure what you mean. Okay. If you want to explain it a different way, then maybe. I'm not familiar with tissue salt. But yeah, Da Vinci, we're going to go on to what to eat and the herbs after I go through or do this giveaway. So bear with. Okay, when it comes to the giveaway, what we're going to do today. All right, I'm gonna ask a question, and first person to answer will win a 50% off discount code for the website. All right. So, question: what is the most dangerous mineral when it comes to chronic kidney disease? Jade's got a hand up, but Jade's not allowed. All right, I've got a winner. Henna BVX. Congratulations. Someone's been listening and quick with it as well. So you will win the first 50% off code. Don't worry, there will be some more. I'll try and sprinkle them in. But congratulations. So a lot of questions about sea salt. Interesting.
I think it's the one thing that's just always been known to damage kidneys or diabetes, things like that.
Yeah, I don't think I actually said the answer. So the answer was phosphorus. The answer was phosphorus. Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, I forgot your name. Henna BVX. Jade will pop the email in the TikTok chat for you to if you email that email, then we'll be able to send you the code over. So yeah, a lot of people have been asking about sea salt. So sea salt is not bad. Sea salt is not bad for the kidneys. Sea salt is not increasing your risk of chronic kidney disease. You know, assuming you're not just sprinkling sea salt onto every meal that you eat 3 times a day. But you know, I'm assuming you mean just a pinch of sea salt in some lemon water in the morning. Is not going to be increasing your risk of kidney disease and is actually beneficial. Now, if you are stage 4, 3, or even 3, 4, 5 chronic kidney disease, then I wouldn't recommend adding that sea salt. You actually want to avoid minerals. The game completely changes. You want to avoid healthy foods, and you actually want to switch to you know more well, it depends on the nutrient profile. So, for example, cassava still has nutrients, but it's infinitely better than sweet potato because it doesn't have potassium and it doesn't have phosphorus in the same quantity. So, it's a low potassium, low phosphorus root vegetable carbohydrate. So, still good. So, there is some nuance in there, and you can definitely Google your way around. Johnson is saying no sound. I'm not sure if that is for everyone. If anyone else can't hear me on Instagram, then let me know. Johnson, if it's just you, then I'd say leave and come back, and you should be okay. Okay. We'll do. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, I think I don't. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I was thinking about another question to give another giveaway, but maybe I'll do one after. All right. So, guys, let's move on to. Do I have the 3 biggest? Yeah, we'll just quickly touch on the 3 biggest mistakes, and it will be brief because I've kind of already mentioned them. But you know how we like to do it here. So I like to always touch on the 3 biggest mistakes because no doubt some of you who are probably dealing with kidney disease or watching someone go through the condition is probably making one of these mistakes right now. So I do think it's really important to go through them. So. What is the first biggest mistake I see when it comes to CKD? It's probably burying your head in the sand. Burying your head in the sand and saying, "Well, I'll change tomorrow. I'll address it tomorrow. I'll get my test next week. I will, burying your head in the sand." Ultimately, I mean, I can dress it up, but that's essentially what it is. With the kidneys, it definitely, and this is pretty much the whole body, but more so than anything with the kidneys, it is more, the longer you leave it, the harder it is to reverse because the rusting of those kidney filters is harder to reverse. So that's why it's super important. As soon as you realize there is a kidney issue, you want to cut your sodium, you want to cut your protein, you want to enhance healthy minerals, but in a balanced way. You really do want to change things around fast. So burying your head in the sand will be the first big mistake. The second big mistake will be, and I literally had a whole half an hour debate about this on holiday and didn't make sense to me. But the second thing would be thinking that protein has no impact on your kidneys. A lot of people with 150 gram a day protein targets, chowing through the raw eggs, chowing through a tin of tuna, chowing through a protein yogurt. Then you get through your, I don't need to go into it, but chowing through all this protein, and then not thinking that has anything to do with the kidneys. Now, yes, there will be lots of people who eat loads of protein and never go on to develop kidney disease. That is true. There will be some of those people. If you have chronic kidney disease, if you do not want to increase your risk of developing chronic kidney disease, then would recommend you significantly reduce your protein. It's more important that you have healthy kidneys than it is you are a bodybuilder, than it is are popping out of your vest, So Verona, you've asked what is the safest protein intake per day. It's a risk thing. So it's not a case of, well, try and stick to 20 grams. And it's more a case of you only really need to be eating, it's more about the fat than the protein, honestly. Fat burdens the kidneys and the protein is hard for the kidneys to break down. And depending on your digestive tract, more toxic byproducts are made from the digestion of animal protein, which can then burden the kidneys. So it's multi-layered, and it depends to what extent of those layers that you are affected by, how much you should avoid protein. Generally, we should all generally be aiming to eat protein around 2 to 3 days a week. We should be limiting red meat to once every 2 weeks. Most of our animal protein should be fish. We shouldn't really be eating any pork, and chicken should be once or twice a week as well, if that. That would be the ideal. I say if you're a meat eater, that would be the ideal. There are other sources of protein. You can go to your lentils, you can go to your chickpeas, you can go to spirulina is a fantastic source for protein as well. So so ICES, any advice for too much creatinine? It depends. Are you supplementing creatinine? It would be a question. If it's a byproduct of your kidneys not being able to filtrate properly, then creatinine isn't the important part, and that's just the effect of the kidney damage. And we still just need to go after supporting the kidneys. So, yeah, if you could answer those questions, that would help to clarify. Not supplements, okay. So that in that case, I would, unless it's a specific creatinine issue, it sounds like it's a more general kidney issue, which is struggling to excrete the creatinine. So in that sense, you do still want to come down on the meat. Basically, follow the same advice because you still do want to support your kidneys. Okay, and then third biggest mistake. What is the third biggest mistake? Yeah, it probably is the healthy eating. So you eat foods thinking that um, they're healthy, but actually they're making your kidneys worse because at stage 4 or 5 kidney disease, it's um it's not beneficial for your kidneys because of the mineral content. We'll use that third mistake as a segue to move on to break down foods in a bit more detail. Because how long have we got left? So we've got about 15 minutes left. So we'll go through the foods and then we'll try and leave 5 minutes as well for some Q&A. So if you've got any foods you want to ask about, then now's a good time. So steps are, hi, I'm taking hibiscus tea with cloves and cinnamon. Is that okay for my kidneys? So the question is, so do you have kidney disease? Are you aware of any, do you have any kidney issues basically? And then if you answer that, then I can explain whether that is likely to be problematic or not. Okay. Whilst Stepsa is answering that question, let's do another giveaway because why not? So Carrie has asked, I have stage 3 kidney disease. Can I take collagen? I mean, okay, I'll say this. Whenever you take supplements, any supplement, your liver and, generally speaking, collagen included, because it will be in a supplement. So your liver and your kidneys have to process all of the byproducts and waste products inside that supplement. It still has to be processed. So if I have stage 3 kidney disease, collagen isn't that important. Collagen, unless you are being stripped of calcium, so your bones are weak, and that's why you feel like you need collagen, collagen is not important. You don't need collagen, you need calcium. You need dietary calcium and you need to regulate your parathyroid if that was the reason you wanted collagen. If it's to make your skin look a bit more supple, if it's to reduce some frown lines, then you don't need collagen. You need to support your kidneys. You need to prioritize your kidneys. And if that's the case, then I wouldn't recommend collagen because what do you need the collagen for? Nothing important, really. If you've got weak joints, then again, that's probably, and it's come along as a result of the chronic kidney disease. It's more likely a result of a calcium issue rather than a collagen issue. So I would just do the calcium instead. Renee, I have CKD3A. Do I have to stay away from processed foods completely and drinking alcohol? Look, when you say this is the thing. Do I have to? I'm sure if you drink, if you went home today and you drank 2 shots of rum, and you had yourself a nice takeaway or frozen lasagna, you wouldn't keel over and die. That's probably not going to happen. Does that mean you are allowed to? I guess that's up to you. All I can tell you is what happens metabolically when you eat those foods. When you drink the alcohol, your liver goes to sleep, so toxins don't get filtered as efficiently, so the burden on your kidneys increases. When you eat processed foods, it's going to be high in phosphorus. you're increasing your risk of your parathyroid going haywire, your bones weakening, your muscles weakening, and your heart essentially calcifying over. That's the process you are speeding up when you drink alcohol and you eat processed foods with chronic kidney disease. It's the same process you're speeding up without it, but that's the pathway is less defined, but before chronic kidney disease. So are you allowed to do it? You can do whatever you want. I mean, I'm not going to be there to tell you off if you do it. Should you do it? If it was me, I wouldn't. Should you never eat any processed foods or drink alcohol ever again in your life? I'm not saying that. Like I said, if you do it once, you're not going to keel over. So if you want to do it on Christmas, if you want to do it on your birthday, if you want to do it on your anniversary, you're probably going to be fine. If your number one priority is reversing your CKD3A, probably don't do it. Probably don't do it. Probably follow the foods we're going to talk about now. That's what I would say to that. So when it comes to do I have to? No, you never have to. You never have to. But you can it's your choice, but be aware. Make informed decisions is what I would say. Make informed decisions. Sorry, Jade, do you mind just messaging Michelle and just saying 10 minutes later, please, for my email or your email to email. Okay. We'll try and get a bit more time into this live session. Where were we? I don't have access to your email. You don't have. All right. I'll try to do it. All right, bear with me, guys. I'm gonna ask you guys a question just so I can send a quick email, and so this will be for the giveaway. So Jade, I'm gonna need your eyes peeled. We're gonna do 3 prizes there. We'll do 3 more 50%, 3 more 50% offs. So what we're gonna say is, if someone I'm trying to make it something I've already said. Well, if you have a kidney stone, in fact, that's perfect. Yeah, if you have a kidney stone, what was the main thing? Actually, that's a super hard question. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I'm not trying to. Do you know what? I'll mix it in with the foods. That's probably fairer and easier. All right, let's get into the foods. If you could just bear with me for 30 seconds, guys. Just 30 seconds. All right, sweet. Perfect. All right, let's get back into it. I just wanted to give you guys an extra 10 minutes because I did have a call, but I just wanted to move it back a little bit because I know we haven't gone through the foods yet, which is the most important thing when we're talking about kidney disease. So this is not an exhaustive list. It's a super complex list because the general rule of thumb is prior to chronic kidney disease, you can eat vegetables, you can eat fruits. They will reduce your risk of chronic kidney disease. When you have stage 1, you want to cut down on sodium. You want to cut down on phosphorus, really. You want to cut down on oxalates, generally. When you have stage 2, same thing. When you have stage 3, then you want to cut down on potassium as well. You want to cut down on calcium as well. When you have stage 4, you want to cut down on all of those things to a bare minimum. When you have stage 5, same thing again. So that's the general rule, that how you want to use your exclusionary process. So that means a lot of healthy foods can be quite bad. So and sometimes Google is going to be your best friend here because we don't know all the minerals in every single food, but if you know the general rules and what you should be looking out for, then you can say, high potassium, that's not going to be helpful because it's got potassium. Or that doesn't sound very good. I heard bananas, that's the potassium one, right? Should probably stay away if I'm CKD level 2 or 3. So that's the general rules of thumb you can use to kind of go about it. So I'm gonna go through some foods. And it's probably easier if you guys ask me, and then I can probably tell you that way. So I'm at to the bottom. Oh no, I didn't scroll. So yeah, So, protein's the one that keeps coming up time and time again. So how I would rank protein is specifically, we'll just go in the middle and say chicken. If you are eating chicken prior to kidney disease, you're probably going to be fine. If you're eating it at stage one, it's not helping. If you're eating it at stage two, not helping even more. At stage three, you definitely want to cut it out. At stage four, you shouldn't be touching chicken. Yeah. Now, white rice and brown rice. This is obviously rice and chicken, very common diet. It's um, it's actually quite interesting. Specifically when it comes to CKD, white rice is actually better than brown rice because white rice doesn't have the phosphorus and potassium in anywhere near the same level of quantities, which is why brown rice is healthier for a person that doesn't have CKD. But when you do have CKD, white rice becomes a highly protective food. Even at stage five, white rice can be a protective food. Now, it's not a healing food. It's not a healing food. It's a protective food. Baki, I'm not sure. You've asked about black rice. Now, I don't profess to know all the different nutrient differences between white rice, brown rice, black rice, wild rice, African rice. They're all different. So what you can do, sorry, that's the thing as well. So what you can do is just search. You can just search, and this is where we can start to empower ourselves. You don't need to rely on an expert for everything. You don't need to rely on your GP for everything because you can Google, well, is wild rice, or how does wild rice compare to white rice in terms of potassium and phosphorus? Because now we know phosphorus is the most dangerous mineral. Now we know when we get to stage three, then TikTok trying to kick me out. Now we know when we get to stage three, we should be lowering our potassium. So you can use Google to say, well, is this food high in potassium? Is this food high in phosphorus? And that's how you can actually distinguish between different foods. So quinoa would be, oh, sorry, Jay, go on.
No, I was going to say, some people have sent in some foods from before, if I could ask you that. Or...
yeah, go for it.
So someone said white meat and fish too, or just red meat?
So the white meat is
chicken.
Basically you're just going by fat. So the protein is a protein, but then you want to reduce the fat and the toxic load. So fish would probably be the best, then the chicken, then the beef.
Someone's drinking hibiscus and cloves and cinnamon. Is that okay for their kidneys?
So to my knowledge, the hibiscus is quite low in minerals. It's high in antioxidants, very high in antioxidants. So it depends what stage of kidney disease you're at. At stage 5, it's probably going to be contraindicated because most things are. But at stage 1 and 2, it's going to be highly beneficial. At stage 3, it probably becomes neutral. At stage 4, you probably want to reduce it. Basically, at stage 4 and 5, there's not many healthy foods at all that you'd want to be eating every single day. You don't really want to be eating it more than 3 days a week. Healthy healing foods, and that's why it is so difficult to reverse stage 4 and 5 kidney disease. At stage 3, you can still include things like cabbage, cauliflower, bell peppers, blueberries, strawberries. These are things that you can incorporate still. Even olive oil to help healthier fats. You can still drink tea. You can still do lemon water. You can still provide your body with essential minerals to help you heal. When you get to stage 4, it gets a lot more nuanced. And when you get to stage 5, there's not many things at all. So, but yeah, someone did ask about a full diet guide, and Jade, I'll let you continue in a second. Mm-hmm. Someone did ask about a full diet guide. We do have the Kidney Cleanse Kit. We made a video on Instagram, I want to say it was last week, talking about cleansing the kidneys. If you leave the word underneath that video, you will get sent the my full kidney cleanse guide. And that does have more in-depth dietary advice telling you what foods to eat and avoid at the different stages. And I would definitely recommend and encourage you to download that. But that's only on Instagram because that's the only one the link works on, or you can send the link automatically on.
And it's free.
And it's free as well. Also, if you buy the kit, it comes with it as well. So go on, Jade.
He spent a lot of time on that, so it's really beneficial. So if you are interested in how to heal your kidneys or want to take care of your kidneys, then yeah, please do head to our Instagram to get that guide sent over to you directly for free.
Yeah, it's definitely the most in-depth guide I've written. Yeah. That was an 8-page guide. But yeah, go on.
Collagen at level 3.
Answered that one already.
Oh, you did.
Mhm.
That's
Cool. What's some notable ones here? So I've got mushrooms is an interesting one. So mushrooms are actually beneficial at stage 1 and 2. However, when you get to stage 3, you probably want to use them with caution. At stage 4 and 5, the mineral load is probably too high. Nuts and seeds, again, things you want to stay away from, even at stage 1, just because their mineral load is that high. You don't really want to be doing that. Lentils, chickpeas, even at stage 1, use them cautiously. At stage 2, avoid. At red meat, again, we've discussed that. The fish, yes, at stage 1 and 2 is better because the mineral load is lower. Guys, eggs, stay away from the eggs at whatever stage. Stay away from the eggs. Avocado, another great fruit, but stay away from the avocado, even at stage 1. Um, so yeah, Eleanor, I'm 23 and my right kidney is functioning at 21%. I had huge stones causing infection and pus. So in that case, what I would recommend is follow the dietary guide. You don't want to be putting undue pressure on the kidneys because that's only going to lower that percentage. I guess had implies the stones have now been cleared, which is great, I'm assuming. So therefore, you want to be reducing any bacterial load and helping to cleanse the kidneys. So for that, we do have a kidney cleanse kit, and that would be, sorry, that's probably a nice segue to move on to that. So the herbs are really important and they're really unique. So Stonebreaker is one I definitely recommend for you just to reduce the risk of stones reforming. Try and eat more dietary calcium, so more green vegetables as well. You'd probably benefit from eating more coconut yogurt so that your gut bacterium can grow, and you will get that. I forgot to say it, the oxalobacteria. I thought I had it written down in front of me. I don't. But anyway, there's a specific bacteria in the gut microbiome that gets fed if you consume probiotics like coconut yogurt. I would recommend that to help you break down the oxalates to help those stones from forming. I would recommend the black seed oil to get rid of any bacteria that's left in the kidneys. I would recommend Stonebreaker to be able to break down any stones that are still left or clear any stones that are still there. And then astragalus, if I wouldn't, I don't, I'm not sure you necessarily need that unless you've got an infection. But astragalus is best for infection-based kidney disease. And then gone blank now. Milk thistle. Milk thistle is a fantastic option because even if you are at stage 5 kidney disease, you can still use milk thistle. Milk thistle is one of the most, healing foods there is. It directly helps the liver, but it also reduces the toxic load and reduces the workload of the kidneys. It's absolutely fantastic. It's actually slowly becoming my favorite herb, and you can sprinkle that over your meals. So cabbage with some milk thistle, and some white rice would be. I guess you probably want to stew that cabbage to give it a bit of flavor. But yeah, that's how, or tomatoes or something like that, or some bell peppers would be a good kidney safe meal. Um, so yeah, after transplant, you still want to be following the advice because you still want to be keeping your infection risk low. You still want to be doing a lot of these things. So yeah, the milk thistle is the safest option. You can use that at pretty much any stage of kidney disease, and it's not going to make your situation any worse. And early stage is going to help you to heal. The astragalus, if you've got HHV6 infection, if you've got an infection-based kidney disease, then that is where the astragalus is best. It's all. Oh, 1 second. Bit of a tech issue. Okay. Yeah, the astragalus is also supremely good for reversing the scarring that can happen within your kidney filters, because that's really what the bones of chronic kidney disease is. So that astragalus is fantastic for reversing the scarring. And then the black seed oil, as I said, is best for going after any bacterial or viral load in the kidneys that are making it worse. It helps the kidney muscles to relax and supports the blood vessels and helps to pass stones as well. So, guys, that is the kidney cleanse kit that is on the website. I would strongly recommend you to look at that. If you've got kidney stones or stage 1 or 2 or stage 3, we have a kit for each of those conditions. I did promise, because I need to jump off in a few minutes, but I did promise there would be some giveaways, didn't I? So we'll do 3 giveaways. So guys, if someone can name one of the herbs in our kidney cleanse kit, then you will win yourself 50% off, and that will apply on all platforms. I'm just going to get Facebook open so I can see. Um, oh, yep, Koja. Oh no, so before that, it was. Oh no, there's me going all the way back up. It
Just have a
was
look.
Elaine Apakohe, I think is how you say it. Yes,
You're really
and
good at
then,
that.
huh?
You're really good at that.
Thank you.
That took me a while.
Timiko it also applied on Facebook. All right, so that was the first one. We're going to do a new question. So yeah, Passangela spirulina isn't in this kit. Spirulina is not actually great for the kidneys. Again, too many minerals, just too many minerals. Um, okay, so what's the next one we could do? So sorry, I didn't even say. Yeah. So Elaine, Jade will send the email in the chat. So feel free to email, and
The
you will
salt
get your
milk.
50% off. 50% off. Okay. What can, this one's a harder question. So this one will be for 80% off. If you can answer this one, this will be an
Oh.
80% question. What does astragalus specifically do to help the kidneys? I think I said it twice. So if you were listening, you'll win. What does astragalus specifically do to help the kidneys? Or if someone can Google it fast enough, they may win the answer as well. Um, what does
You did not
astragalus?
get Elaine's name right, by the way. She should know.
No, it's not Elaine. You
No,
say?
you didn't get her name right.
Oh,
No.
is it Ella?
And maybe the second part, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Right, so we've got flush, filtration, clean up bacteria, reduce stress, remove scarring.
Elaine, you won again. It's not Elaine. I don't know.
Well, we've got, to be fair, what actually came in before that on Instagram, stop scarring and infection.
Oh, Instagram came
Yeah.
first. Yes, Renee. Congratulations, Renee. Well in there. And a complete answer as well. Stop scarring and infection. I don't know if that was Google's help, but I'll give you the credit. So, well, congratulations, Renee. 80% off code to you. So Jade will put the Instagram, the website link in the chat. And all right, final question, and this one will be for 50% off again.
Helps you break dance.
All right, so actually,
a pack O is her surname.
oh, Packer. Elena Packer. Got it. Elena Packer. Got it. All right, and the last question. Actually, this will be another sneaky one, actually. So, 80% off again, because it'll be a harder question. What virus is the leading cause of unexplainable chronic kidney disease?
Ooh.
Now, this one will be rewarding you guys who were here for the last half an hour because I did say it a while ago, and I don't think you'll actually be able to Google this one. So we'll see if we have a winner. We'll see if we even get a winner. I'll be impressed if we actually get a winner.
Repeat the question.
So what is the virus that is most commonly causes unexplainable chronic kidney disease?
So someone said strep.
No, not strep. Good answer though. That's more UTIs. So this
HBV.
HBV is close, but not HBV.
Ooh.
You got 2 letters right. 2 letters in a 4-letter acronym right.
SIBO meningitis. Not quite. Not quite.
So
Keep me going in.
HBV got 2 letters in the 4-letter acronym right. There's a number as well. Oh, it's 3 letters in a number. No, Jay's giving away too many clues. I think Passangela is just guessing random letters now. I don't even know if HCV is a thing.
All right. Should we?
All right,
Should we give a bit of a clue?
all right. Kimberly, because I need to jump on a call.
Okay.
Kimberly, I will say you. Oh, no, we actually did get a winner. We did get a winner.
We
All
have.
right, so Kimberly on Facebook said herpes, which is
Okay.
close because
Yeah.
it is a herpetic family of virus.
But Miss Lynn M. Burgess.
So Kimberly, you win 50% off. But Miss Lynn M. Burgess is got the answer. HHV6 to be
She
specific.
put 6, but she pressed
Oh, and then
shift
she did.
'cause
Oh,
it's
there you
the-
go.
yeah,
So
so you
HHV6
did.
and HV. So Lynn's been listening, or she may have been listening to Medical Medium, where that information comes from. So give the credit there. So congratulations, Miss Lynn. Guys, I need to jump off. So
Just because I can't get to Facebook.
So
Well,
Lynn,
having that
please
conversation.
email Instagram, sorry, not Instagram, info at Magic Tree Superfoods, just so we have your contact, and then we
Brilliant.
can send you the 80% off code. Kimberly on Facebook, again, please, I'll just type it, Jade.
I've got it. Yeah, don't worry.
Oh,
I'll do it now.
please email the email I'm popping in now.
No, I'm doing it.
Certainly I haven't done it. Cool. But yeah, please email that Kimberly, and we'll send you that 50% off. And then Elaine, you want a 50% off as well. So we will send that to you if you just email info at Magic Tree Superfoods. And I think the earlier winner did already email, so we'll
Yeah, they
get that
have. I
sent out to you.
responded.
So
Yeah.
fantastic. Guys, we may do a part two on this because I saw all the questions flying in. I know a lot of you are dealing with kidney related issues. So we'll definitely try to do a part two on this, or we'll definitely try to make some more content on this as well. At Magic Tree, Alex, do you mind just popping in again for Elaine? She got it's info at Magic Tree. So
Did I type it
magictreesuperfoods.co.uk,
wrong?
Elaine. She posted it back, but it doesn't look complete. So info at magictreesuperfoods.co.uk, Elaine. If you go on our website, if you're struggling to get it, you'll be able to get it there as well.
I typed it in.
So yeah, we'll be back on Thursday or Friday. Need to figure it out. But guys, thank you. I appreciate you. Good session, great session. Long overdue. If you have any questions on our kidney kit, whether you can take it, whether you think you are, too far progressed to take the kit, then please do message us on the website, and we'll be able to provide that support. But there will be lots more kidney content coming. So yeah, looking forward to speaking to you guys more personally and giving you that one-to-one advice as well. And if you do want to book a consultation, then please do so through the website. And yeah, you can do that as well.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, and we'll speak on Thursday or Friday.
It was Kimberly.